So starting with the first one, it says a sequence is shown below, which formula represents g of n. So I can see answer choices A and B are exponential and C and D are linear. Remember, if it's exponential, that means you're multiplying or dividing the same thing, and if it's linear, we're adding or subtracting. The easiest thing for this one is going to be to plug in our values for n. And when we do that, we can just use our Desmos. So when I do answer choice A, I'm going to plug in a 1. And when I plug that in, it needs to give me an answer of 44.1. So if I come over here to Desmos, I'm going to type in my 37.9 parentheses 1.16 and then raise that to the first power. So I can see this is giving me 43.964. It needed to be 44.1, so it would not be answer A. So I can get rid of answer A. Then I can do letter B, same thing. I needed 44.1 to be my answer, and that came out to be 51.156. So it's not letter B. Moving on to letter C. So that gave me my 44.1. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check my next number, which was a 2. And that's coming up with 51.3. So if I come back to my problem, 2 numbers worked, the 1 worked, and the 2 worked. So our answer would be letter C. Number 2, it says a sequence is shown below, which function can be used to find the nth term of the sequence. So I can see all of them are linear. So the pattern I need to see is how we're increasing or decreasing. For all of these, we are adding 3 to get to the next number. So I know I need a positive 3 in front. Now, I can come above it. When I plug a 1 in, my answer has to come out to be negative 14. When I plug a 2 in, it would have to be negative 11. 3 would have to give me a negative 8, and 4 would have to give me a negative 5. So if I try letter C first, I have 3 minus 17, which is negative 14. So that worked, but I'm going to try the next number as well. So I'll do 3 times 2 minus 17. 6 minus 17 gives me negative 11. That one worked as well, so my answer would be letter C. Now today we're going to be graphing from Intercept form. So what you need to do is pause this and write these down in your notes. The x-intercepts. Remember, intercept form was y equals a x minus p x minus q, where p and q are our zeros. So p comma 0 and q comma 0 would be the x-intercepts, and that's where it crosses the x-axis. The axis of symmetry is halfway between our x-intercepts, also known as our roots. So all we would do is take those values of p and q, add them together, and divide by 2. That'll give us our axis of symmetry. And then to find the vertex, we take that x value and we plug it into the equation to find y. And then if we were looking for the y-intercept, remember when we're finding the y-intercept, that means our x value is 0. If it's on the y-axis, x is equal to 0. So looking at my first example, For starters, my A value is -2, which means I know this opens down. So my vertex is going to be a max. So first I'm going to find my x-intercepts. And to find my x-intercepts, I am just taking this part in the parentheses and we're setting those each equal to 0. We're finding the roots. So I'm going to solve the left, subtract 1, solve the right, add 3. So my x-intercepts would be -1, 0, and 3, 0. So they're on my x-axis at -1 and at +3. So then to find the axis of symmetry, it's halfway between those. So I'm going to add my x values, -1 plus 3, and divide it by 2, which gives me 2 divided by 2. So my axis of symmetry is at +1. So that is the middle of my graph. To find the vertex, all we do is plug our x value in to our original equation. So y equals -2, 1 plus 1, 1 minus 3. So I'm just doing order of operations. I'm adding inside of my parentheses. And so -2 times 2 is -4. -4 times -2 would give me +8. So then my vertex is 1, 8. So at 1, 8 would be my vertex. And so then from here I can just connect all my points and there would be my parabola. Oh, not really going through my point, but. So because my graph opened down, my vertex is a max. My x-intercepts are where it crosses the x-axis. Those are the roots. We find those by setting it equal to 0. Axis of symmetry is halfway between. Add them and divide by 2. So let's look at the second one. Once again, there's my a value, which is -1/2. So it's going to open down. And if it opens down, that means we have a max. I'll start by finding the x-intercepts. So I'm going to take the part that's in parentheses and I'm going to set them each equal to 0. On the left-hand side, add 2. On the right-hand side, subtract 6. So at 2, 0, I would have a point, and at -6, 0, I would have another point. Then I'm going to find my axis of symmetry. I'm taking my x values and I'm adding them and dividing by 2. So my axis of symmetry is at -2. So here is the middle of my graph. Then we'll do the vertex by plugging it in. Remember, we're going back to the original equation to plug in. So half of 4 would give me 2 times 4, which gives me 8. So my vertex was -2, 8. So there is the middle of my graph. And we're going to just connect our points. And there would be our parabola. So on this next example, the way this one is factored is our GCF. But we're still going to do the same thing as finding our x-intercepts. So I would have my 2x equals 0. Because my GCF has an x, it gets that equal to 0. Then I'll have my part on the inside equal to 0. So the left-hand side gives me a 0. And the right-hand side would give me a 4. So at 0 and at 4. So then to do the axis of symmetry, we're adding our x values and dividing by 2. So my axis of symmetry is at +2. So that is the middle of my graph. Then we're going to plug it in to find the vertex. So that would give us 4 times -2. So this one gives us -8. Which will be at the bottom. So this one opens up. So you can see all we're doing is setting each part equal to 0, and that's giving us the x-intercepts. We're adding them and dividing by 2 to find the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry gives us the x value of the vertex, so we plug it back into our original equation to find the y value of the vertex.